What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Off the Couch Boxing. I'm your host, Reckless Rex Ruger, along with the Nicaraguan Nightmare, Alexis Arguello, the puppet.
And I'm your other host, Frank Benji's, back with another episode.
And our guest is already here, so we're going to dispense with the formalities and get down to talking to a real champ. We're going to get him in here. Man. All right. You just got to activate your camera down there and your microphone.
Yeah, if you tap the screen on the bottom, there's a camera and a microphone. You just tap both of those.
You see him? Uh-oh. There he is.
Got one.
Get the microphone. Gotcha.
There you go.
You got us?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Reggie, sweet Reggie. We finally made it happen, brother.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We got it.
Hey, listen, man, I got to start out right from the rip here, man. And I got to say, my son was just watching he's my co-host, my son. He was just watching the highlights of the James Toney fight, man. And I think we're calling robbery.
Oh, hold on, man. This is
unless he doesn't agree, but I think he will.
No. I mean, to this day, that's a fight that I felt that I won. But you move on, and that's just part of the history, man. I mean, everybody that watched the fight know who really won that fight. But I just talked to James Toney, was with him not too long ago, and whenever I see him, man, that always come up, and everybody that was around us was going back and forth. And
I'll bet. We had James. Actually, we had James on a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah, James. Hey, man, he's a funny guy, good guy, man. And I was he was like I was telling, well, James, I even had you down in the second round, and this and that, and Toney, he always come up with something, man.
Yeah, I know. Actually, we talk about that all the time because I think that attitude with him is important, because when we had him on, he doesn't backpedal at all. In his eyes, he's the best.
Oh yeah. He whooped everybody.
Yeah.
yeah. James Toney beat everybody, man. And I remember, man, everybody started laughing when this came up. He's going back and forth about I'm like, Toney, wait a minute, man. That's right. You would beat me real bad even when I dropped you, man. And everybody started laughing. It's just it's. Yeah, hey, but I always tell people this about James Toney, man. That dude was, for him to do what he did, middleweight, me and him fought at 160.
Right.
I think he skipped 68, won it at 75.
Yep.
And then he went on to heavyweight to beat one of the greatest heavyweights of all time. And we all know who that is.
Evander. Yeah.
And there you go. That's it.
Yeah.
I had a lot going on tonight, champ, so I only got a chance to watch the highlight tape of the Toney fight. But I think if I'd have watched every minute of every round, I'd have had more of a problem with the decision, just because of what I saw in the highlight tape was he wasn't hitting you.
Well, and like my chief trainer, Manuel Chato, the late Manuel Chato Robles. You know who Chato is?
Yeah, one of the greats.
Chato's son is the one who trained Andy Ruiz to become the first middleweight world champion.
Yeah.
And that's Chato's son, Lil Manny. And, Lil Manny had about, 3 to 5 pro fights. And then he just, he told his dad he wanted to be a trainer like him. And his dad gave him all up. And that's who trained me for that fight, Chato.
Obviously, you got a lot of great names on your resume, but are there any guys out there that you wanted to fight that didn't happen?
Well, I always wanted to fight the guy who I was going to be getting paid the most money.
Yeah.
It's a business, man. And
sure.
Of course, you want to be in history. You want to say, well, Reggie fought one of the best, those great fighters. But, at the end of the day, man, it's about business, man. I grew up real fast. My father was one of the street guys. He was locked up. I had my mother had me at 14. I had twin sisters. So, I wasn't just fighting, even as an amateur, man. I was fighting, taking care of my family.
Damn, I'm never gonna say that I got anything on my plate again, because that's a rough life right there, man. I mean, hats off to you, man, for for rising above all that.
Yeah, but when you think about it in retrospect, you can say it was a rough life, but then, man, I had great people. Me and Tyson got the same story. He had Gus. I had the late Mr. James Carter, who my late uncle took me to when I was 12. And I started with Mr. Carter. And to this day now, I run into people from back in the day. They say, "Oh yeah, your white daddy, Mr. Carter, he sparred you, man." But the first day I put gloves on at the age of 12 at the Salvation Army Boys Club, I sparred a guy had like 30-some amateur fights. And I remember when they was taking the headgear and the gloves off, the late Mr. James Carter, he said, "Young man, don't you know you could become champion of the world?"
Yeah.
And I held on to that. And that day, after that day, no more football, no more basketball, no more baseball, no more soccer, no more wrestling. It was all boxing for me at the age of 12. And keep in mind, the great Muhammad Ali, he started at 12. And that was my hero, man, Ali. Right.
Yep. Well, there you go, man. I mean, ordinarily we ask somewhere along the line of the interview, who was that guy that you put up on the pedestal as your guy to look up to? But I think you just answered that with Muhammad.
Oh, absolutely. Well, right out the gate, it was my uncle who started me to boxing, the late Kenneth Ironman Walker, and his best friend, who was also a boxer, Dennis Hitman Benjamin. And when I really think in retrospect, my uncle and Ben, his best friend, who started me to boxing, those guys could have made a lot of positive stuff and did some great things in boxing. But, when you try to live the street life and box, hey, man, the street life will always take the best of you. Those guys should have been champions too, but, they even when they smoked their marijuana, they made me get out the car or go into the auditorium where we having amateur fights or go into the boys club, the gym to train. And like I'll tell everybody, I'm 57 years old. I've never had a beer in my life, never did no drugs or nothing. But I must admit to this, I've been drunk one time. that goddamn Roy Jones 1-2 punch.
That's a different kind of drink right there.
There you go. I got paid for that drunk. That's right.
But so obviously with all these names on your resume, who was it that gave you, in your opinion, your toughest fight?
Well, I think the toughest fight came from the best fighter of our era, Roy Jones Jr. Yeah. I think that was the only fight that I couldn't find. I couldn't get to him. I couldn't, with his speed and his ring, the note of his ring generalship, man. He was just a hard guy to get to. And this is a guy. When I went to his hometown and fought in his hometown, I was down there training. I was with Murad Muhammad, the promoter, and they was down there, and I trained there, and I fought there, and he didn't fight. I think that's when him and his dad went separate ways. Yeah. But I was born with this guy, and that guy was learning a lot from me. And then to see, and the day I sparred with Roy Jones, I said, "Hey, man, this guy here. This is the future of boxing right here. This guy got something." Yeah. And think about that, man. Yeah. 7, 8, 9 years later, we end up fighting each other for the world title.
Crazy. I know. That's crazy. That is
crazy. Speaking about the future of boxing, I'm curious to know if, recently we've seen that Anthony Joshua is going to fight Francis Ngannou. So I'm kind of curious what your opinion is about like the crossover MMA fighters fighting boxers, or even Jake Paul fighting and all that. Like, what's your take on all that?
Well, my take, man, if anything, if you can get two dogs, put them in a boxing ring and draw a crowd that generates money and people get paid, I mean, it's business.
It's a good thing.
So I mean, so I look at it from that perspective, and it's not really bad. You got professional boxers fighting MMA guys. They it's pretty much, it's not the same, but it's in the same category. And if those guys are getting paid, if the fans love what they're seeing, I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it, sir.
Don't begrudge him, man. Yeah, don't begrudge a guy making a living.
That part of? You think that's part of Floyd's greatness, is the fact that he was able to make so much money?
Yeah, well, you mean, I think, I mean, Floyd Mayweather was. It's business, and it's the best of his era. And then for him to set set out there and do what he did from a business perspective, a lot of people should learn from that.
Yeah.
I wish I would have had the mindset that he had when I was coming up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think what Floyd Mayweather did was lay something out that all fighters should do, man. That's why we're working on some things of trying to bring fighters together and put some stuff in place that really take care of the fighters, like the NBA, the NFL, the National Baseball League. Those guys are taking care of the rest of their life if they stay in that league for so long.
I love hearing that, champ. I really love hearing that because you know that's something we've addressed on this show before. How all these sports have unions and they're taken care of afterwards, and boxing really doesn't take care of its own after your fighting career is over.
Absolutely not. Okay, when you're in that ring, if you get hurt or something, you're taken care of. But once you leave that ring,
yeah,
come on, man. If you're in that gym and you get hurt real bad, you hurt. And we should be, boxing should be taken care of. Man, there's too much money generated in boxing for that not to play a role in people's careers and people's lives.
Amen.
So you think it could be something like just for shits and giggles, I'll say the purse is $100 million and then we split it 40-40 and then the last 20 goes into like a bank just for like that kind of stuff?
Absolutely, man. You hit the nail on the head, man. Anything can be like that. I'm not saying the numbers would be what you just named, but that's
right. That
that's
was
it.
just
yeah. But you're right about that. That's it, man.
Especially when hundreds of millions of dollars sometimes are changing hands in these fights. I mean, you know, there comes a point in time when you're making a living, but then it's also a little bit greed, especially when your peers. And I consider boxing. It's kind of like you guys are a big fraternity, like a brotherhood.
Oh, absolutely. We're a brotherhood, but it's a little different than, like I said, the NFL, the National Baseball or Basketball League. Man, these guys are they taken care of. If they get hurt in the game, they taken care of. And you're right, man. We need something like that for boxing to and I must say this here. That's a lot harder to accomplish because boxing is a world sport. When you win the NBA championship or the NFL, you're not the world champion.
Right.
You didn't go to South Africa and play that guy. You didn't go to Italy. I'm naming the places I've been. You didn't go to Spain and do this.
That's a good point. Yeah, you raised a good point.
And actually, it's funny you say that because at the end of the Super Bowl, and I guarantee they'll say it this year, whoever wins it will be the world champion. But really, they're just the national champion.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. Yeah, listen. And don't get me wrong, man. Being a national champion is real big. It's even bigger now because I just got inducted into the National Boxing Hall of Fame.
And congratulations! Congratulations.
Yeah, and that's coming up in April in California. Where you guys based at?
We're in upstate New York. We're actually right in the backyard of the International Boxing Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay, yeah, and I've been there about 8 or 9 times. Okay,
we're close.
Yeah.
We're very close.
Okay.
Yeah, right down the road from us. And I can rest assured that the weather right now here sucks.
Oh man, it's real cold.
A lot of snow.
We just got a lot of hit hard.
Yeah, we just got hit. Yeah, we just got hit with a storm. So after your boxing career is over, do you still follow the sport?
Oh yeah, I follow the sport. I mean, I work with fighters. I train some fighters. On and off. When this coronavirus and all that stuff, it kind of really slowed me down. But I'm getting back to getting to gyms, working with fighters, and just I got fighters. Boxing related people call me all the time just for advice, and I'll always forever be connected with boxing till the day I die.
Are there any guys out there that you are current fighters I'm talking about? Are there any guys out there that you have a particularly keen interest that you really watching their career developed? Are there any guys currently doing it that you really are a fan of?
Well, they got a very few fighters. A lot of these guys are just getting started. I'm talking about these guys are fighting pro fights, but they're not noted fighters yet. But I got a handful of guys that I'm connected to that, hey man, they if they stay on track and put in the work and stay really connected to the sport, hey man, we got some future world champions. I those 5 guys, man, 3 of them are very solid fighters.
Now, what about the guys that are currently doing the well-known guys? I'm talking about the well-known guys that are going right now. Are there any guys, like a Terrence Crawford or a Tank Davis? Are there guys like that you're a fan of?
Who's the face right now?
Who's the face of boxing right now?
Oh well, we already know that. You just mentioned his name.
Is it Tank or is it Bud?
I think it's Tank and Bud. You can have two faces of boxing.
Absolutely.
If it takes two fighters to fight each other, you can have more than one face of boxing.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that.
And when those two guys fight each other, one of them is the legitimate face, and that guy is still one of the faces of boxing because he fought in that big fight.
Do you think Terrence Crawford makes a good claim? Now, obviously, he was very he got on social media. He was pretty assertive that he should have been the fighter of the year because of his win over Errol Spence. A lot of people said, well, you only fought one time. That's not enough. But, he claimed that because how big the fight was and how badly, he beat Errol Spence, that performance alone should have got him fighter of the year. He didn't win it. The Japanese guy did there.
Right.
Yeah. But do you think you think Crawford makes a good claim, though? Do you think he should have been fighter of the year?
I mean, let me ask you a question. Do you think Crawford could beat that guy who won the fight of the year?
Yeah, the Japanese kid. He's a lot smaller. Yeah.
Oh, he's a lot smaller. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a tough one because I don't really know a lot about the other guy, but just knowing what Crawford had accomplished. I mean, he's the face of boxing, and the other guy is the face of boxing. But if that other guy didn't put in the work and fought legitimate fighters, I think
Well, just to give you some insight, champ, Inouye unified two divisions. I believe it was it super feather and bantamweight?
Yeah.
I think in like a matter of like 380 days, so just over a year, he unified two divisions, undisputed.
Oh yeah. And hey man, with that being accomplished and with that being done, fighting on that level, I mean, that's a 50-50 thing, and I can understand why those people picked him to become the fighter of the year.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you about those two split decision losses. The one to Tony that we talked about already, and the one to Antonio Tarver. How come no rematches in either one of those?
You haven't figured that out? Why do you want a rematch?
Well,
but that only lets you know that hey man, that fights like that, if they're not a rematch, that person who won didn't want a rematch.
Yeah. I kind of thought that was going to be the answer, Chap. I thought that was going to be the answer.
But let me tell you something, and I tell people this all the time. That James Toney fight to the day I die, that's a fight I know in my heart that I won. But I mean, this is what comes with boxing. And the Antonio Tarver fight was a split decision. And when I looked at that fight a couple of times, I said, you know what? I can see that them giving Tarver the fight. I think Tarver, he I have no problem with that fight being a split decision loss.
Well, the big problem I had with the Tony card, there was two cards that went 114, 113, one for you, one for him. The 115, 112 is mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling.
Well, that's the lady, Patricia Jarman. I'll never forget her name.
I was gonna bring her up, but I didn't want to blow her in. But I'm glad you did, Chip.
No, that's all right, man. So many fights didn't happen since then, and like I told you, I was just with Tony at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, and we going back and forth, and
we got
all the crowd, the people in there, and somebody started talking. We talking about, when I dropped Tony and this and that, because Tony was talking about me. Oh man, you ran the whole fight. I said, that's not called running. That's called fighting on your terms.
Yeah.
And then I said, when I drop you, and Tony, he had something to say about that. I say, oh man, Tony, that you right, man. That's what I was doing. I was running when I dropped you, Tony, and everybody started laughing.
I couldn't imagine being a fly on the wall in a room and listening to you two go at it, man. That's got to be the ultimate entertainment right there. I could just see you two.
Hey, it's nothing radical or people upset, but we be entertaining the people, man. And Tony, we always hug each other after when we finish and let them people know, hey man, this is we were part of history, man.
You know how many guys have come on this show and told us that we got to come to that thing?
Yeah. What, the Boxing Hall of Fame where?
that one over there in Atlantic City.
Yeah, that sounds like a ball. Yeah, that sounds like a fun.
Well, check this out. I haven't been to that one since like the 90s, like early mid 90s. I think I was there. And as a matter of fact, it's another guy, this black brother. He's over that whole thing now. I just saw him at the Atlantic City Boxing Hall of Fame, but he's over that. No, he's the guy that's over the one in California.
Okay,
and he did the one in Atlantic City too.
I'm glad you said, though, that the rematches didn't happen because you really won. That makes me feel better, champ. That makes me feel a lot better, man.
Right. But if you think about boxing, think back in the days, man. I give you the perfect example. How many times did those fighters fight each other back in? Sugar Ray Robinson fought. Who that he fought? He fought 6 times, man.
Jake LaMotta.
Yeah.
Him and Jake LaMotta fought 6 times.
Yeah. And those guys didn't take no time off. They'd fight and then they'd fight again 3 weeks later.
Absolutely. You know? So and think about it, man. Those guys back then, they had anywhere from 70 to 100 fights.
Yeah.
And right now, like say for instance me, I only had 52 pro fights, and if I could have been busy like I wanted to, without dealing with the all the legal stuff and me sitting out contracts, I would have 100-some fights. I only have 52 pro fights.
And what do you feel like was your best weight? Because you were a 2-weight champion. You had the WBA middleweight title, and then you had the IBF light heavy. Where do you feel like you did your best work? Well, what weight was best for you?
Oh, I think most definitely both of them was great but as a middleweight, I think, fighting with the speed and the ring generalship. But at light heavyweight, I had to when I fought William Guthrie and fought other light heavyweights, I had to, I was a small light heavyweight. Yeah, I should have been fighting 68,
Yeah.
And but I had to change my style and get more aggressive, and even though I still fought on my terms, but I was a lot more aggressive the heavier I got.
I always kind of felt that way about Montel Griffin. We've had him on the show too. He seems very small for a light heavyweight too.
Well, don't you know, Montel Griffin is like, when I was in California, I kind of like took him up under my wing.
The best.
I got a lot of history with Montel Griffin. Yeah.
Yeah. Great guy. Yeah.
Great, super great guy, man. And I was, man, so happy, all the stuff. Well, he tell that story all the time, man. Reggie took me up under his wing when he did the same thing I did. I left Houston, hometown, and went to California chasing the dream, and he did the same thing. He left Chicago and came to LA chasing the dream.
And he's got to really get under James Toney's skin, because he actually really did beat him twice.
Yeah. You're right. He beat James Toney twice.
Yeah. That's pretty good. So what's life after boxing been like for you? I know you said you've been doing some training, you've been keeping an eye on the sport, but like, what's life after your fighting career been like?
Oh man, life has been great, man. It's a great thing when I think in retrospect, because there's come a time too. My last fight was in 2008. I fought the late Julio Gonzalez, who also was from California, who was also the light heavyweight champion. That was my last fight, and I beat him in a split decision. But even after that, I was thinking about coming back, and I'm like, I put in my head, I'm gonna beat Bernard Hopkins. I'm gonna become the oldest world champion. That was my thing, and I had a talk with a couple of people, and they're like, Reggie, man, you had a great career, man. We don't want nothing to happen, this and that, and over the time, it hit me and said, man, that person who advised me was telling me the right thing. I mean, I got all my faculties.
Yeah.
You can always look me up and find Reggie Sweet Johnson in the history of boxing. So yeah, I left it alone, man. I didn't pursue coming back.
It's
and
a
I
good
was like
blend.
41, 42 years old.
It's a good blend.
Went out on top too. Went out with a W.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. And I think you hit on it too. More importantly than the win-loss record, you went out with your health. That's important.
Oh, yeah. All my faculties, man. I mean, I hope you guys can understand everything I'm saying.
Absolutely. No, man. You look and sound fantastic, man. And thank God, because, obviously it doesn't end that way for everybody,
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Every once in a while, I forget my middle name.
Yeah. Well, who doesn't? I mean, come on. Who the hell doesn't? And now here's one of the most important questions that we ask everybody, Reggie. Out of the marvelous Marvin Hagler Sugar Ray Leonard fight, who won this goddamn fight?
Oh man, man, everybody always asks me that, and man, whoo, boy, that was a tough fight to call.
Yeah. We got you on the hot seat here, champ.
Yeah, you got me on a real hot seat. I'm gonna have to stand up in a minute. Whoo, hey man, I wish that fight could have been called a draw, man. But man, people gonna always look at it from a Hagler perspective, and they're gonna look at it from a Sugar Ray Leonard perspective. I think what Sugar Ray Leonard did was a great fight, and I think what Hagler did, and especially with him being the champion, I mean those referees, they oh hey man, the champion won this fight, but you come up back, but once again, it kind of like also speaks on the politics and politics of boxing.
Yeah, I like that you use politics.
yeah, politics and politics.
I remember that one.
For Ray Leonard was a rated name that I could see them a close fight like that, them giving it to him, but everybody know that Marvin Hagler, if he was the champion in that fight, the way it went, he should have probably got that victory.
For you, I got to ask before we let you off here. Best moment of your career. What was the pinnacle for you?
Oh, the pinnacle for me?
Yeah.
Nah. Everybody, and most of the time they say the same thing. This is the last good question we want to ask you. What was the pinnacle for you? What was the greatest fight you ever had? And you know what I tell them?
Yeah.
And which is true? It was the Roy Jones fight. Look at the history. That's all the belts on the line. That's a unification fight. All of this and that. And then the big thing is it was the biggest payday I made as a fighter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's big. Yeah, that is big. I like the fact that you picked a fight that you didn't necessarily have to say, I won this fight, because you're just looking at the whole moment. The whole experience. History.
Oh yeah, and think about it. At the end of the day, not only Roy Jones, but the James Tonys, the Julio Gonzalez, all these future world champions that I fought. Me going to Argentina, fighting Jorge Castro twice in his backyard, losing the two split decisions. So if you fight somebody in their backyard in a different country like that and you lose a split decision, we know who the real winner is, right?
Right. Yes.
And even with me going over there fighting John David Jackson over there, my first fight over there, all that was connected together. Another split decision loss, but yeah, man. I mean, I had a great career, and when you really point out certain fighters or where you fought or who you fight, you didn't get the decision. A lot of people say, "Oh, we felt you won that fight, you got robbed." Well, I felt the same way, but that's history, and it comes with the ultimate sport of boxing.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I'll reiterate what you said though, man. I mean, thank God that you came out of it the other side, and more importantly, the health and the faculties are good. We couldn't ask for more than that, champ. I mean, that's the real blessing.
Oh, absolutely. I was talking to James Toney with him not too long ago, and man, what that man accomplished, what Roy Jones accomplished, and think about the ultimate sport of boxing.
Yeah.
Roy Jones was the best fighter of our era. How many times he been knocked out?
I know. Yeah.
I've never been knocked out. 96-12 as an amateur, had 52 pro fights fighting on the levels that I fought. And, I got all my faculties. I never been beat up, knocked out. And every time I got knocked down, I got up and finished that fight. And I think, 1, 2, 3, I think the Roy Jones is the only fight I didn't win.
Yeah.
When I got knocked down, yeah.
It's been a hell of a run, champ. It really has, man. And you know what? I'm glad we finally got the chance to do this, man. It's been a great pleasure for us to get the chance to talk to you, man. We appreciate you doing it, man.
Man, it's always a pleasure when you love the ultimate sport of boxing and you get to talk about it, and in this way, man. I love the ultimate sport of boxing. I can't. 57 years old, I can't do it no more, but I can talk about it.
Yeah.
And I can reminisce and relive. And man, think about it, man. I'm from the hood. I'm from Fifth Ward, where George Foreman was raised.
Yeah.
In Houston, Texas. And man, how many people from the lowest of their city travel the world. I started traveling all over the world at age 16, Sweden, Germany, Denmark, Japan, Bangkok, Thailand on the USA team. So, I've been blessed by the best, and man, I have, that's really the only negative part is that the promoters got most of the money that we fought for.
Yeah, it's always. And shout out to the Fifth Ward, right? Home of the great Ghetto Boys. Come on, man.
Absolutely. Well, me and Willie D grew up together.
Yeah, love that
from
guy.
the Ghetto Boys.
Love them. One of my favorite rap groups of all time. Love the Ghetto Boys.
Hey, I'm finna educate y'all on something.
Okay.
Do y'all know who Willie D uncle is?
I don't know who his uncle is. I do know he used to box. I do know Willie D used to box.
Yeah, well, I'm the one started Willie D to boxing. Me and him promoted the first card after I fought Roy, and me and him was on the golf course, and we was walking, and Will said, "Reggie, God damn it, man, you need to promote your own fight, man. The hell with them promoters." And he was talking. I said, "Yeah, man, I've been thinking about that." Will and Will said, and then I'm gonna fight on the undercard. I started laughing, and then he was serious. He fought on the card. Yeah. Willie D had 3 pro fights.
Yeah.
But this is what I want to educate you guys on.
Yeah.
Do y'all know who Willie D uncle is?
No.
Willie D uncle fought Wilfred Benitez, Vito Amafermo.
Wow.
And guess who he knocked out in a pro fight?
Who? Willie
D uncle. Roy Jones' daddy.
Roy Jones's father is Willie D's uncle.
No. Roy Jones' dad got knocked out by Willie D uncle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How amazing that I shouted out the Ghetto Boys, man, and now we get this this bit of history. That's crazy.
Oh man! So as a matter of fact, me and Scarface used to be neighbors, lived in the same gated community, and I knew Bushwick, I knew all of them. Jay Prince's dad and my dad grew up in Fifth Ward together in the streets.
Oh man,
friends.
Yeah.
Man, I would have never. Man, that's crazy. You bringing up the Ghetto Boys.
Yeah. Dude, it's all right. It's all right, champ. I know what you're about to say. An old white guy like me liking the Ghetto Boys.
but back, hey man, especially in this day and time.
I know.
I just saw something not too long ago on television that the rap music is the most sold music out there now. That's crazy.
Oh, gotta be. Yeah, has to.
I listen to "Damn It Feels Good to Be a Gangster" every night.
A constant, a mainstay. Yeah, I will love the Ghetto Boys.
I'm trying to remember the song where Willie D mentioned me on one of his songs, boxing.
No, did he really?
Yeah, it's one of his songs. I can't remember the song now, but he mentioned me on the song about boxing. Yeah.
Yeah, Damn It Feels Good to Be a Gangster's a good one. Mind Playing Tricks on Me. Oh yeah, they had a bunch of great ones, man. I mean, they were criminally underrated.
Right there, Mind Playing Tricks on You. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Man. I'm glad we found that out though, man, because as soon as you shouted out Fifth Ward, I always remember them talking about being from Fifth Ward. I also think the WWF tag team there, Harlem Heat, aren't they from down there?
Oh yeah, you talking about yeah.
Stevie Ray.
Stevie Ray and Booker. Yeah. But they're not from Fifth Ward. I think they from Third Ward.
Okay, yeah, but they're down in that area though, right?
Yeah, they're from Houston. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Me and Booker T real close. I know Booker T real well. His brother, I know his brother too, but Booker T is more. Yeah, me and him is more closer than his brother.
Look at us, man, bringing together wrestling, boxing, and hip hop all in one show, all in with Reggie Johnson.
Oh man, this is a good thing, man. And
we're blowing people's minds right now, Reggie. We're blowing their minds. We're taking them all over the place.
And then we haven't even mentioned, even though he's not from here, a lot of people always saying the first fighter to win a world title. I mean, the first athlete to win a world title is George Foreman.
Yeah.
And I always had to correct him. No, George is not originally from Houston.
Yeah.
He's from Marshall, Texas. I'm the first guy to win a world title from Houston, born and reared in Houston, Texas.
Yeah. And hopefully
George came here, I think he's 13 or 14, and him and my dad grew up together in Fifth Ward. Yeah.
You ever heard that? You ever heard that song, "Bitch, I'm from Texas"?
Wait a minute, who is that?
By Big X the Plug.
No, I don't think I never heard that one, man.
Errol-
But, I was
Errol
really into that rap music around the time Willie D and them was coming up. But every once in a while I listen to rap. But, man, rap music is the most soul music now. I just heard that last week when they was talking music. I'm like, what? Rap music sell more music than anybody? Wow.
I understand you being shocked. I probably don't look like the poster child for the typical Ghetto Boys.
No, Errol Spence walked out to it, though, when he fought Bud Crawford. He walked out to That's the Plug, and he was rapping that song.
Another guy from Texas. Another guy from Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I remember that now because they said something about the people I was with. They said, man, that's a ghetto. I said, that ain't the Ghetto Boy. They said, yeah, that's the Ghetto Boys or something.
That was not. No, it wasn't the Ghetto Boys. But
who was that?
It's Big X the Plug.
Big X the Plug.
Big X the Plug.
Yeah, one of them. I was at a friend's house and he said they was trying to figure out who that was singing that song, and then somebody said the Ghetto Boys. Yeah. Wow.
Listen, champ, I can't believe we finally got to make this happen. Me and you have been talking for a long time, man. I'm glad we finally got the chance to do this, man. It's been a pleasure, man. And hopefully you'll stay in touch and we can have you back on again.
Oh, absolutely, man. Like when they have some of those, what's the next big fight they're going to have? They're talking about Canelo fighting Spence, right?
No, who's Canelo going to fight next? Canelo's going to fight. Well, first Canelo's going to fight one of his mandatories who nobody's ever heard of. But
Tiafimo's going to fight.
That's what I'm thinking about. Next. Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's February 9th, I think, or something around there.
Yeah, Tiafimo, you're a bad boy, man. You're a bad man.
But the big showdown that's coming up, though, man, that I think we'd all like to see, and I think you being a light heavyweight yourself would probably appreciate it, is obviously seeing Beater Biev versus Bivol.
Right. Yeah, I definitely want to see that fight.
We got to see that happen. Yeah, we got. It was a good year. 2023 was a great year for boxing, but we still got a lot of great fights that can still be made.
And in this day and time, if you really think about it, when I think in retrospect, say the time I was coming up, when I won the world title and the ratings came out, I was like number 5.
Yeah.
And I soon went up. I became number 2, and then I was number 1 for a little while. But think about all the talent was just in that one division.
You were fighting,
And it wasn't only in my division, the welterweights, the junior middleweights, the lightweights. Man, they had so much talent in those divisions back then. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was a great time. Yeah, it was a great time for boxing, man. It really was, man. That time, all through the 90s and the early 2000s was
early 2000s. There you go.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that. That's it. Yeah,
great time for boxing. Yeah. Well, listen, Chip. We really appreciate you doing this again, man. And please stay in touch, man. And we will definitely do this again, man. We loved having you, man.
Oh, absolutely. So when that next big fight come up, just reach out to me, man. I got you. No problem.
I will. Yeah. We're going to make you a regular correspondent.
Okay. And then if you guys ever need other fighters, I put together like about 5 a list of fighters that I personally know that noted fighters. If you guys want them on the,
please, absolutely. Okay? Yeah.
We love that.
We would love that. We would love that and appreciate it.
Have you guys had Riddick Bowe on there yet?
No.
Oh man, Riddick Bowe a character, man. Yeah, Riddick Bowe.
Anybody you can suggest, anybody you suggest, you can always reach out to me, and and you can give them my personal contact information. I'll send it to you when we're done, and then you can pass it along to whoever. Yeah,
do that. Okay, I'll get that started for you, brother. No problem.
Great talking to you, champ.
So
we appreciate you.
All right. Y'all have a great day, man.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right. Okay.
There he goes, folks. The champ.
What a great guy.
Yeah, the champ. The
but
champ.
Hey, man, I'm about to just shout out Gary Busey right away because I gotta go eat dinner, dude. My dinner's been ready.
Let's give a shout out, man. Let's give a shout out to Reggie Sweet Johnson.
Yeah, Reggie Johnson out.
44-7-1, 25 knockouts, 2-weight world champion, WBA middleweight champion, IBF light heavyweight champion. That name's on the resume. Steve Collins, John David Jackson, William Guthrie, Antonio Tarver, James Toney, Roy Jones Jr. Come on, man. This guy did it.
Yep.
And shout out to the Ghetto Boys. Much love.
Big shout out to the Ghetto Boys.
Rest in peace, Bushwick. Love Scarface. Love Willie D. Shout out to the 5th Ward because he shouted him out, man. And,
oh, my God. If he could procure us the Willie D interview, I would just do that just off the – he boxed.
He did box. He did
He
box.
boxed.
I tried to get him for Podscom before, but yeah, absolutely, man. If he can get us a Willie D, I might even like that more than some of the boxers he wants to turn us on.
Right.
A Willie D, man, we can take people right down the whole path of boxing and or hip hop. So I mean, certainly we'll be pursuing anything Reggie Johnson can throw our way, man. That was a sweet interview with Sweet himself, man. Reggie Johnson, man. Alexis Arguello even liked that one. Again, he shut his mouth through the whole thing, not a fucking word. If you're watching us, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell. Awesome new content every week. Like and follow us on Facebook. That's in order.
And shout out fucking Gary Busey, baby. And I'm going to tell you right now that I can go 15 seconds with anything.
Yeah. Cheers. And then I, in turn, am going to tell you, continue to watch, continue to support us. And if you want to be a champion, a lot like Reggie Johnson and us, if you want to be a champion, then please remember to roll with the champs.